Deciding she could always knee him in the groin if he got out of control, she bit the bullet and joined him in the backyard. She was shocked to see him standing naked, folding his clothing. She burst out laughing at the drunk man, whose white skin nearly glowed in the moonlight. "The hell are you doing?" "I'm going to show you something, okay? And then when you see it, you decide if you want to ride or die." Confused, she laughed again, covering her mouth. Ride or die? She had no clue what he wanted, but she wasn't having sex with him. That much she knew. Though if that was what he wanted, she was certain he would have just locked her in the room where she'd dressed and had his way with her. Ember watched as Tate bent over, reaching toward the ground. But when he did, something crazy happened. His arms lengthened and his body grew, shifting into a horse. She gasped and took a step back against the house. What the? She'd heard of shifters before, but she'd never seen one shift. So fucking cool. She took a few steps toward him and held out her hand, feeling like an idiot. This was a man, not a beast. Why was she acting like he was a horse at the fair? She glanced back at the party and then studied the horse in front of her. Excitement built in her gut until she couldn't hold back. She pulled one of the lawn chairs up to his side and slung her bag onto her back as she climbed up onto the chair and then onto his back. He held perfectly still as she settled into place, and the moment she gripped his mane, he took off. Tate ran across the backyards of the suburb until he reached the outskirts of town where the desert met the houses. His pace slowed as he headed into the barren land, cactuses their only companion. When he stopped, Ember slid from his back and patted his side. That was amazing. Tate shifted, returning to normal but smiling with a broad grin. His body glistened in the moonlight with perspiration, and she felt badly she didn't have any water to offer him. She stood a few feet away, mesmerized by his ability. "Now, I have to ask you, Miss Ember." "Underwood." "Miss Underwood, have you ever fucked a horse?" Tate stepped closer, and though this was completely outside of Ember's typical mode of operation, she didn't back away. She felt her cheeks flush hot and licked her lips. "I can't say that I have." Tate reached out and took her hand, pulling her close to him, where he took her bag and tossed it aside. He brushed a few hairs out of her face and grinned. "Get ready to be wowed." The first kiss was all it took. Ember melted like putty in his hands.